Hey guys, Aaron here. What is going on? And today we're here with Heli Podcast Episode 3, I believe. And we're here with 3 special guests. We're not here with the typical group, with Zane and Kevin. Today I'm here with my dad, aka Bob. Some of you might recognize him from my videos. Very well known with the Boblin. And then we're here with Joe Reyes and Travis Reyes. You might have seen in my most recent video, I did a video covering his vinyl work. What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up?
And yeah, so we're just gonna talk about a couple things, especially some of the Readyheli stuff that's been going on. Talk a little bit about Travis and Joe, and all that good stuff. So let's get to it. Anyone, any takers for this topic?
I'd like to say, actually, just to chime in, that Joe, dude, you do awesome work for the vinyling stuff. I actually have, for anybody who hasn't seen the other videos, try to put that up there. That is my DX9. I don't know if you can be close enough, if it'll see it there. I got right in there. It actually has Boblin on there. And it was just awesome. The pilot stickers and everything else came out sweet. And I never have to worry about sitting my radio down and worrying about which one's mine again.
Exactly.
So we get together and fly with some guys. So I just want to thank you very much, dude, for doing that stuff, and keep doing it, because I'm seeing on Heli Freak guys are loving this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with that. Definitely.
It's been a blast.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We've even started out just trying to save money and make money to support this helicopter habit, and it's actually kind of cool because I'm getting emails and PMs from guys in like Japan and Australia. Unfortunately, it's going to cost more to ship to them, but one of the guys from Japan actually wants like a Team Ninja sticker with his pilot names, and he was going to take like a picture of his heli with the Team Ninja sticker with the Japanese skyline in the background, and I thought that'd be really awesome. And I got a guy from Michigan who flies at a field called 8 Mile. Everybody knows what 8 Mile's about with the whole M&M thing, but there's obviously apparently a field that they fly at, and he's going to try to get a picture with his helicopter on the 8 Mile marker. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's turning out to be more than I expected. I just started out doing it with local guys in the area making their pilot names and stuff, but now that it's starting to get through Heli Freak, it's actually getting pretty cool. I've been PMing Will James with Heli Freak, and we're supposedly supposed to work on some Heli Freak stickers, and that would be really cool.
Nice.
But
that's awesome.
He's been really busy, so he hasn't had a chance to get back with me yet. But hopefully he does soon, and we get some Heli Freak stickers out to all these people out there.
Cool.
That's awesome.
That'd be sweet to see you on some helis that are around the world.
Oh man, it's cool. It really is. Like guys from California showing me their stickers, and it's really cool because I send out these Team Ninjas to these guys. They actually put them on their helicopters and take pictures for me with it. So it's turned out to be pretty cool.
Not to mention the fact, give you a little extra coin to spend on your helis. So
That's
that
exactly
would be roll into the next fun fly. Next thing you know, you open the back of your truck and you got like a fleet of goblins sitting there or something.
We definitely love that. We definitely love that.
You'll have like 6 goblins. Unfortunately, 5 of them will be for Travis, and you'll only get to fly 1 of them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just remember, Travis, don't catch those in birds. Yeah, that'd be bad.
Especially the 700.
Yeah, that would hurt just a little bit, so I wouldn't do that. Yeah, that'd be cool going out to IRCHA, seeing guys who might not even recognize you, and having Team Ninja stickers on their helicopter. That'd be awesome.
Right. They've already said, like most of the guys that we've sold the stickers and vinyl to, they've already said that they're going to keep an eye out for me at IRCHA, and I said, man, approach me. I'm the most approachable person you could find. Just come out, and if you see a Team Ninja sticker, come up to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
Hopefully this year we'll have our own little Team Ninja, setup going on with a couple canopies.
Oh yeah, I'm actually thinking about making a banner for Team Ninja and
get some Team Ninja shirts.
Team Ninja shirts and stuff like that.
Sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I tell you, on the way you said about approachable, that's the one cool thing about IRCHA. If anyone's listening or watching that hasn't been there, everyone at IRCHA is approachable. these guys watch these videos on YouTube with like, Kyle Dahl, Bobby Watts, all these guys, and Burt Kemmerer. They're all easily approachable. You get out to the field and you can just walk up to them and start talking to them, and they'll take the time to talk to you.
Yeah.
Burt Kemmerer, I can't thank him enough. He was able to spot for Aaron last year. It kind of set it up as a birthday present for him. He took the time out of a very busy schedule to come over and talk to us and spot for him and stuff. And so all those guys are pretty cool. But it's the heli community in general, Heli Freak, Urcha, the whole thing. Everybody's just really cool.
Yeah.
So you meet a lot of new friends. We met you guys at the Fun Fly that way too. So
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
really cool hobby.
that's a really awesome part is being, going out to Urcha. I remember going out there the first year and seeing a lot of these people, and I'm like recognizing these people, seeing them from all the videos, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Bobby Watts, it's Kyle Stacy, it's Ray Stacy, like holy crap, I can't believe that. And then me and a friend walked up to Ray Stacy, and we were just
Right.
talking to him. These guys are really cool, and excuse me, like that was a cool part at the Virginia Fun Fly. We met you guys. You guys, we just approached you, and but we're here now. We became good friends. It's definitely awesome at Urcha. So I'm pretty psyched for that to be out there. So
Oh yeah. Hopefully we can make it out there.
yeah.
We sold enough vinyl. We might have some funds to make it out there.
Yeah, there you go.
you make it. You'll make it. You get the funds. Keep selling those decals and keep doing that. That way you have all the funds to get out to Urcha.
That's right. So everybody out there, go buy my vinyl from me.
That's awesome.
Shameless promotion.
Oh yeah, that's
We need
totally
to-
fun.
We need to make a YouTube commercial for Heli Ninja, or
right.
for Team Ninja
Team
rather.
Ninja. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a shameless plug. Sorry about that.
that's okay.
That's perfect.
That's part of what we're doing.
I wouldn't have made that video, showing you guys vinyl if I wouldn't have really truly liked it and believed it. I mean, I really like that stuff. That's awesome.
That video was awesome, Aaron. As a matter of fact, that couple of guys at the field today, they're like, "Hey, I saw a review on your vinyl today with this guy named Aaron." I'm like, "Yeah, I know Aaron." But apparently you have some fans at our field that have actually been watching your channel there. So
Oh, that's awesome. That's
yeah.
really cool.
yeah.
That's cool. And those guys that were watching Aaron's stuff didn't know that he knew you. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, they were like, we saw your reviews, and I'm like, oh, cool, and I ended up selling vinyl at the field today because they're like, I didn't know you were Ninja Please.
That's so
funny.
cool.
Right.
I know one of the subscribers, TNT Neon. Hopefully, he checks this out. I know he contacted you to have some stuff done too, and he sent Aaron, letting him know that I guess through what he did that he was able to contact you. So it's the community kind of works. It all goes together, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he PM'd me on Heli Freak.
Yeah.
Really cool guy.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Yeah, he is.
He is. Yeah. I think it's not even just the heli community, or not even just like the heli freak community. It's also broadening out like into the YouTube community as well. I wouldn't have made some of the friends I would have like through helicopters if I would have been doing YouTube videos, like doing helicopter stuff. A couple subscribers ended up turning into really good friends who I talk to like on a daily basis.
Right,
So
right.
that's definitely awesome. I'm trying to get a couple of my friends who do heli stuff to get a couple of your vinyls. They really like them. So that I'm still in love with that one sticker that Travis helped you design. The one with my name and my YouTube channel. That was absolutely awesome.
That's a great sticker. Unfortunately, with it was too small. I mean, if we put that on a banner, that would be sweet looking. That was meant to be like a big logo. But it did turn out pretty nice at that size. Like on your transmitter, I didn't know how you'd like the transmitter one, so I gave you a bunch of different ones to see which one you liked. I put it in black and white, and I'm glad you liked it. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Looks awesome on the 600, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I did like that. That looked real good.
Yeah, definitely.
We got to put
And that's
some.
nice seeing my work on other people's helicopters. It's just neat to see that. It's really cool. Thanks for doing that, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Anytime. I mean, I really like them. I mean, even if you wouldn't have did them for us, if even if we would have someone else do them for it like that style, it's really awesome. But it's cooler because you did it. Your quality is probably much better than the mall quality than the typical.
Appreciate
There
that.
you go. We've already had stickers done at the mall, and they're decent, but they're not your kind of quality. Like yours are a little thicker, they're stickier, they're just overall better quality, and they're definitely well worth it. So if we get some shirts made up and stuff, I'd be proud to rep Team Ninja. That'd be awesome. Walk around in
That'd be
Urcha
sweet.
or Funfly with.
Hey, no problem.
We just need to make sure we get them for Big Man.
Oh yeah, we'll get you. I'll probably get the same size for me. I'm not too far behind you there, Bob.
Oh, no. I think you got a long ways to go. Well, hey, not to get off subject here a little bit, but I have a question. When you, like, Joe, this is probably to you, as dad to dad, what's the most, when Travis goes to fly, what do you find to be the most nerve-wracking part? Or do you get more anxious when he flies or when you fly?
I think I get more anxious when I fly.
Okay.
When he flies, I become more of a fan than I am a dad. I don't know if that makes any sense. When I watch him fly, and I'm sure you feel it, you feel like a pride. Oh wow, that's my son up there. And then next thing you know, you're a fan just watching a pretty awesome flight. And it's considering that we've only been flying since April, and with the cold, obviously we haven't been flying that much. And to see how far he's progressed, it just makes me proud. And to be honest with you, I don't get nervous when he flies. He'll do some things where I'll say, okay, let's bring that up a little bit higher. And the only reason is because I want to fly the helicopter after. But
yeah, that sounds familiar.
As far as him flying, I have 100% faith in what he does, and if something happens, something happens. But from what he does right now, it amazes me, to be honest with you. At 12 years old and watching Aaron fly, I was impressed how I saw Aaron fly. It's just how I am. I just love how the younger kids get into it and how much they progress into this hobby.
Yeah, I know when I watch Aaron, I'm not going to lie, I get nervous. And I don't know if it's – I don't get nervous because I know he's in 100% control and I have extreme faith in his abilities. I'm a person, I guess I overthink it, or I get a little too safety conscious. And he gets like tunnel vision, and when he's flying, especially with the big 600, this one particular flight at Urcha, he was laying it down like I've never seen him lay it down before, and he didn't realize how close he was actually getting, and he had it laid down, I'll bet you 8 feet, 9 feet in front of us doing aileron TikToks, maybe 2-3 feet off the ground.
Wow.
And you could actually feel the air coming off the blades. That was a little too close for comfort, and I had to remind him to take it out. And I don't know if I mean, if it crashes, so be it. It can be rebuilt,
Right.
But I think I'm just
Safety.
little nervous for safety. Plus, it does kind of suck a little bit to fork out a whole bunch of money.
See, the fun part with you, I think, as of lately, I mean, I'm definitely with the micros, but especially with like some of the bigger stuff, if it's one of those flights where it's just I just go all out, you push me sometimes to go a little lower, like, hey, do this or do that, and try like it, just stuff like that. Like you throw ideas out at me while I'm flying, like, hey, can you reverse this or do like just something like that. So,
That's just to mix it up. I like watching you fly. It is awesome, watching you. And like Joe said, it's an extreme sense of pride, So, if anybody's watching this, if it's one of your subscribers, whether it be the father or a son, if you can both get involved in it, it's an awesome thing to do, And I have, unfortunately, we'd have to get him in here in one of the podcasts. My other son, who's 11, is an amazing pilot himself. And, I'd love for him to come down to Virginia with us if he decides to go. He just isn't quite eat, sleep, breathe it, like Aaron and I do. But he just picks up the controls and without even trying. And like you said, that pride is awesome. And I can't wait to see Travis tearing it up again because I saw what he was doing, at Virginia, and I was watching, some of the other stuff. And it's going to be cool to see these kids get together, when we get down there again and see what they're able to do.
Maybe me and Travis will have to plan maybe a little bit of a dual flight, maybe. That'd be interesting.
That would be.
With the micros.
No, Travis, we'll talk about it later. I'll text you about it.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
There will be no dual goblin flight.
Actually, you know what? Travis and I were actually talking about that today. We were thinking about doing a tandem newbie flight where we both will just hover at the same time and maybe go left, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
It would be.
And eventually, it would progress to, as we got better, we'd probably start doing more things. But just for the fun of it. But obviously, we would be in safe enough distance away from each other.
Yeah, that's me and my little brother did. It was both our 500s, and we went up. We did 3D, but we were probably maybe 100 feet apart, maybe. From each other, and we were both doing a thing. I'd go out, get a little closer to him sometimes, doing hurricanes. We were never really close though, but it was still, in my little brother's eyes, it was still, we were doing a dual flight. I'm flying with another helicopter there, and he thought it was awesome. And
right.
that would, even if you're far apart, it's still awesome. So.
Yep.
So now on this topic, so now you saying about you guys doing like a dual flight. So if there would be one move that you guys would like to pull off, in whether it be in tandem or whether a stunt you would like to pull off, what do you think that one thing would be? If you should have something with both of you flying, what would be the one odd sort of trick or something? Not to put you on the spot, but
A pure.
A Piro flip?
Well, with my skill level, it would just probably be a tail end hover. Travis, on the other hand, he's probably going to want me to do. What do you want me to do?
A pure flip.
Yeah.
Well, are you doing hurricanes, Travis?
I'm still working on my circles, but soon I'm going to be practicing my hurricanes.
Okay. So you could get your dad to hover, and then you could do hurricanes around him.
Yeah.
There you go.
You could mix it up that way. I know. I'd actually like to do. I don't know if you've ever seen the video with Rob Cherry and Matt Bodos from Synergy, where one of them's inverted, the other one comes in, and they do a skid touch, and they actually touch skids. And I think that'd be so cool to do.
Wow.
That would be awesome.
I'd actually love to pull that off with like our T-Rex 500s. That way, if they do hit, it's not such a loss.
Well,
It would be a loss,
but I mean,
it would be a loss.
it's not like
two
of my T-Rex 600 E-Pro DFCs hitting each other, and
Or I'm not putting my Goblin in your 600 or something.
yeah.
But I think that would be so cool. The only problem is I'm not sure which one I'd want to be. If I don't think I could hold it steady enough inverted, and I don't know if I'd want to be controlled enough to come down.
Right.
Either way, all I'm doing is hovering, and I'm going to let Aaron do the rest of the work.
Travis, I'll tell you what. To meet in the middle, since you thought Piro flips would be cool in a dual flight, and also hurricanes would be cool in a dual flight, I'll Piro flip in the middle while you hurricane around me. We have long enough till the Virginia Fun Fly. Work on your hurricanes. We can pull that off.
Yeah.
And then
that'd be cool.
We can get it on video and make a pretty killer video for my YouTube channel.
I was thinking earlier we could do a dual flight, and I could land, and then you could do your stuff, and then you could land, and I can do whatever I would do, and
That'd
sort
be
of
pretty
be
interesting
like,
too.
almost like a party.
Yeah, that'd be cool too, because technically there's no risk of us having a midair because we're not in the air at the same time. So that's what we'll
It'd almost be like playing a game of horse. You go up for 30 seconds, you land, the other one goes up for 30 seconds, you do a trick, and then the other one tries it, and then
or even just
kind
go
of back and forth.
Even just go up for 30 seconds, just go off and go crazy, land, and have the other person just go off, go crazy, do some cool stuff.
That'd be interesting. That would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. The song that I would put on the video, though, would be that song that goes, anything you can do, I can do better. You guys just keep doing that back and forth. That would be awesome.
That would be pretty funny.
That would definitely be pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Definitely.
I'm sure we'll have some pretty cool ideas till then.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I mean, I'm definitely set. I got hotel reservations already all set. We're going to be down there for the Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday.
For the Virginia Fun Fly.
Virginia, what are they calling it? The spring heli fling?
Yeah, the spring heli fling.
Yeah. You guys are. I was thinking way ahead. I'm still thinking Urcha.
Oh, we are too.
I actually just booked my hotel room. Everything's set for Urcha too.
Yeah, we're still debating on how we're going to get down there. We're either hotel or a buddy of mine's got a camper, so hopefully we can get the camper right on the grounds. But I'm sure
I've wanted to do that.
I'm sure they fill up fast, so we have to get on it soon. Not to do it with them.
Yeah, I mean, it depends where you want to be. If you want to be, close to center, yeah, you got to get there nice and early. But we were towards the end, and if we were down maybe another couple 100 feet, that's still even a good spot. As long as we're not dead on the end, where there's not a whole lot going on.
And if we're on the end, we're on the end. I mean, there's no bad place at Urcha.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, anywhere you go, there's people flying, being, entertaining enough pilots. It's definitely interesting. So, there is no dead time at Urcha, I guess. So.
Now, you guys for the May one for Virginia, are you guys heading down all the days? Or just one day?
It might be possible we could do all 3 days. Matter of fact, we might bring the camper down there if we can get Mark to get the camper ready.
Oh,
cool.
Nice.
But it's only like an hour away from us, and we drive to fields that are an hour away sometimes. We have a field that's about 10 minutes away from us, but we also drive down to Virginia that's an hour away. So it wouldn't be a big deal if we were to commute back and forth all 3 days.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's cool.
If that fun fly ends up getting enough people, we can do a Team Ninja meetup. There you go.
Oh yeah. That'd definitely be nice.
That'd be cool. Get a Team Ninja banner and everything set up, and
Exactly.
that'd be fun.
That's funny.
I'm just trying to think outside the box for more interesting, fun stuff.
Oh, okay.
Well, one of my things that we were thinking about was like the Mr. Yuck stickers. When you see a Mr. Yuck sticker, you think of poison. Well, I'm thinking like the Team Ninja stickers. If you see a Team Ninja sticker on a helicopter, as a newbie, we all know that the helicopter community is a pretty cool community. But for the person that has just started out, that knows nothing about the community, if they see that sticker, that should be like, we should let them know that, hey, if you see a helicopter with this sticker, approach that person and they'll talk to you. If you're so scared to talk to anybody, if you see that sticker, approach that person. That'll be like their cue to, hey, I can approach that guy. He's got a Team Ninja sticker on his helicopter.
Yeah, yeah.
It's something neat to just put the name out there. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
That'd be cool.
But going back
a year
to
or
what
two.
I think it's a good
Aaron
idea.
said,
If in like
Team
a year or
Ninja
two.
tent.
Yeah, yeah. If in like a year or two, Team Ninja just gets huge, and I don't know. That'd be awesome.
And then
Team Ninja could be like the next Heli.
that's right. Then we get like that's right. Then the big companies will call us and say, hey, can you sponsor us? And we'd be like, I don't know. SAB is a pretty small company. I don't know if
Yeah, you'd be getting a call from like Bobby Watts. Hey, I just dropped Gowie. I heard Team Ninja's looking for some pilots.
come on board. As
Yeah,
Nice.
that'd be awesome.
long as you're a cool dude and talk to people, you're on the team.
Yeah,
And don't expect a paycheck out of it.
That's right.
well, yeah.
Talking about Urcha, we could make like a Team Ninja Shack, like the Ninja Shack, and we could just print out a whole bunch of stickers, and then people could just buy them for like $5 and stick them on their radios or
Don't
on
sell
their...
team stickers.
I like the way Travis thinks.
Yeah. Do the sticker slap.
I mean, yeah, that's what I said about doing that with like
Yes.
one of my stickers. But actually, that's not a bad idea with the Team Ninja stickers. Like walking by, I know that'd be bad because that'd be putting bad reputation for Team Ninja. But walk by, experience and go on the cash register, like on the front of it, and just sticker slap a Team Ninja sticker on or something.
That would be bad.
Because there was like, I don't know if people did it or if, or I don't know if like regular people did it or if the team members did it as like a sponsor. But there was like a couple Gowie stickers on the back of the cash register. Like I think there was a Smack Talk one. I'm not sure if people just did that or if like Bobby and Bert put the Smack Talk one there or how that went about. But if you have to pay for that endorsement, that's a very simple endorsement. But that'd still be interesting with Team Ninja stickers.
That would be cool.
I like
That'd be
that.
awesome.
Then yeah, you'll sticker slap the wrong thing, and people will be like, "Oh, what is this Team Ninja? What is that?" Then get the bad name out. So I think we should stay away from that. Maybe.
They'll know.
What was that? What was that, Joe?
They'll know what Team Ninja is by Urcha. Hopefully.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully
Yeah.
they'll know what Team Ninja.
yeah. That'd That'd be awesome if Team Ninja just blows up.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We already got like 2 semi-pro pilots on the team that I've secretly put Team Ninja stickers on their helis.
Nice. Who's that?
There's a guy down here, Justin Harris, who flies for SAB, Optipower, and Contronic. He actually put the Team Ninja sticker right on his on the front of the canopy and on his tail. And then there's a guy down here, Jonathan Walker. Both these guys are incredible pilots. I mean, he flies for Saab and I think he flies for Pulse. But great guys. They actually helped us out tremendously in this. And you know, they've become good friends of ours, and it's really cool to know these guys.
Yeah, that is definitely awesome. Now we just got to work on getting Joe and Travis a flybarred helicopter.
Yeah. Oh, now that you mentioned that, this guy out there today had a gasser, and then he had a Raptor 90. I'm not too familiar with Nitro, but he had it out there as a flybarred Raptor 90, and he says, Joe, you got to try to fly this thing. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I'm not sure. And a friend of mine that was out there, he said, I'll give it a shot. And he looked nervous, and he looked scared while he was flying this Raptor. When he landed, he said it was like flying a Blade helicopter. And then, you know, I've gotten out of the Blade. And don't get me wrong, I love Blade helicopters because it got me to where I'm at now. But once you fly a Goblin or a Gowie or even a Compass, it's like, wow, I've been missing out. I mean, it's like they're so dialed in.
Yeah.
That when I go back to fly my Blade helicopter, I feel like, you know, I'm on loose wheels. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
As soon as he said it felt like flying a Blade helicopter. I looked at Mark, the guy's name was Mark, and I said, no, Mark, I don't think I'm going to touch your flybar. I'm happy with my flybarless.
That Raptor 90 actually probably flew good. We have 2 Raptor 30s, and we have a V1 and a V2. They're a 37 size or 39 size, and they're 550 size helicopters, and those are interesting to do 3D with. I have a video up on my YouTube channel from probably 5-6 months ago. And
Early summer, yeah.
Or yeah, it might have been actually longer than 5-6 months ago.
Yeah.
It was it's definitely interesting. Everything's smooth and slow. You know, if you want, Joe, then I'll text you a link to the video. But it's definitely a lot of fun because it's a kickback from, you know, a Goblin or my T-Rex 600 where everything is snappy, so precise. Where if you go to this Raptor or a Blade 450 3D and stuff is kind of mushy, it's not very precise or locked in, it makes you a lot better of a pilot. And
Right.
I still like flying the older stuff, some of the, you know, not as good stuff, like my Blade 450 3D, which is a great helicopter. It's just not as locked in, not as precise, not, you know,
Right.
not as good a quality, I guess, as some of the better companies. But yeah, we'll work on getting a flybar.
I think everybody should have a flyboard heli. I mean, just because it teaches you so much. You know, I learned on flybar before flybarless was really coming out. You know, it was out, but it wasn't as popular. And I tell you what, I have the T-Rex 500 ESP, which is flybarred. I love that heli, and I have the Raptor 30, the V2 with an OS 37 on it, and they just fly so much different. But it puts you, I don't want to say in more control, but you have to really be on the sticks a lot more. You can't go inverted and just kind of hold it there and let the heli sort of correct itself. You're constantly correcting. And I think it really helps a ton with orientations. And, you know, I think it's good for everybody if they have a flyboard heli to kind of go back to keep them practicing the basics. That way, if something goes wrong with the heli or, you know, your flybarless system isn't quite working right, you're not relying so much on the heli or on the mechanics, but you can actually work it from the sticks. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I learned on flyboard stuff. I learned on my Blade 453. I learned on my MCPX, and the first bigger helicopter I went to for 3D was the Blade 450 3D. And that flybar helped me out a lot. Then I went to my T-Rex 500 ESP, which was flybarred, and I flew that forever. I mean, I still fly it, and flybar still to this day. If I'm learning, like when I was learning Puro flips a couple months back, I forget what I went to try them on. I think it was my 600, and I could do them, but they were kind of sloppy. I went to my 500, and they were very sloppy. But I practiced them a lot on my 500, and I got it to the point where they actually looked somewhat decent on my 500. I went to my 600, and it looked like I'd been doing piro flips for a while, and I knew what I was doing, or it looked like I was knew what I was doing. And the
Even though
more
you still don't.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, but where before I wouldn't even think about piro flipping a blade 453D. Now with a lot of the flybar experience I've had, I can piro flip a blade 453D, and even though it's not locked in, not precise, underpowered, I can do it. It just takes a lot of work, and that's the fun part about flybar. It takes a lot more work to do something very simple compared to what flybarless does. And that's what's a lot of fun, is the challenge.
Absolutely.
Or even like if we're when we go to the Virginia
Now
Fun
you guys are
Fly.
gonna make me look for a flybarred heli.
Yeah, we'll get you to fly one. When we go to the Virginia Fun Fly, I'll let you fly my T-Rex 500 fly bar.
I was just gonna say here, I'll get my Raptor going. You can try that.
Or that, yeah. I'll let Travis fly the 500, or you can fly the Raptor 30, or whoever wants to fly what. We'll set them up with flybar helis for the weekend.
There we go. Go Team Flybar.
Yeah.
That's right.
Team Ninja
Should've jumped
flybar
on-
going through it.
I should have jumped on that 500 3D that was on sale with Blade. They had that on sale for a while. They don't sell them anymore. I think they're all gone.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna have any available. They were selling for like $250.
Yeah.
I actually contemplated it too because we already have a 500. My youngest, he has a 500 3D that he flies. I tell you what, the heli is a good heli. I mean, he was flying it hard enough that the stock gyro wasn't quite enough, and we put a Spartan cork on it. And he's flying edge blades on it, but that heli works really, really well.
Yeah, he let me
I mean,
fly
absolutely.
the thing at IRCHA, and with the Spartan cork on it and the edge blades, honestly, it flew better than my T-Rex 500. It really was quick, snappy, it did everything. And it's a shame they're just getting rid of all the flybar and stuff, because people getting into it now are never going to know what flybar feels like. Or if they do, they got to get an older helicopter that might not be able to get parts for, and all that stuff. So it's kind of a
It's
shame.
already been, or it's a flybarred heli that's older that's been whooped up and crashed and not put together right.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's just as bad, that's even worse than getting a helicopter you can't get parts for, because you don't know what it's been through. If it's whooped on, then, you don't know everything that's bad on it until it goes bad. So,
Right.
Right.
yeah.
So now, off topic again, not to change subject again,
No,
but
that's fine.
you were saying earlier about the Readyheli thing. So, Joe, do you guys, yeah, but do you guys, would you?
I'm sorry, what was that, Bob?
Do you do
My internet.
internet? Would you, given the choice, or how do you do it? Do you go to your local hobby shop, or do you do internet stuff for all your heli stuff?
We do both. There's a really nice shop down here called Hobby Hangar. It's about an hour away. Great people, great service, and that's one reason I like the local hobby shops, because of you get to talk to people. But when we go online, I typically buy from Heli Direct, and the reason being, with Heli Direct, with my experience, I can call them up, and everybody I've spoken to up there has been really awesome. I mean, they help us out. It's almost like being at a local hobby shop. So they're my online go-to hobby shop. I call them my online local hobby shop. I've never really shopped at Readyheli. I've browsed through their websites, but Heli Direct's been my go-to. I'm a newbie. I mean, it's not even a year that we've been flying, but they're really helpful, and that's one of the reasons. And even Horizon Hobby was pretty helpful. But fortunately, what do you call it? I guess you could say graduated from the Blade helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah.
As much as people talk bad about Blade, I really enjoyed the Blade Prime. I still wouldn't mind. I still fly the heck out of this 350X or QX. I mean, and I still got a 300X that I bring out every once in a while. It's kind of like flying a flybarred helicopter. You take out and just kind of goof around with to learn, get back to the basics.
Good little boomer helicopter. If it crashes, it's cheap and won't break a whole lot, and it's not that intimidating to fly at all.
No, not well. in the beginning it was intimidating as a
Yeah, now that you've flown a Goblin 700, though, going to a 300X is like, wow, this used to be scary. Like, yeah,
right. You're right.
yeah,
And with the V bar and the icons, it spoiled me, unfortunately. And like you guys just said, I really should go back to the basics, but it's hard to get away from it once you've been spoiled.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with you with Heli Direct. I've gotten a bunch of stuff at Heli Direct, and they've been awesome. I will say I kind of tend to lean more towards local hobby shop, just in partial because I work there. So since I work at hobby shop, I like everybody to come shop at the hobby shop. That way I can keep a job. But there's stuff that we can't get flying. I like to fly beyond the blade and some of the other stuff. Now we're working on getting some other things, but I always like when people do the hobby shop. But like you, I've never done anything with Readyheli, and I've been reading all this stuff on Heli Freak about all the Readyheli stuff, and I think that whole thing kind of stinks a little bit with as quick as they shut down. But for items, internet-wise, I would say Heli Direct has been really good. They're on top of it. I'll make an order, and within 2-3 days or whatever it is, I have this stuff at my house.
yeah.
It arrives really fast.
The only downfall with ordering from Heli Direct, and it's nice, they have great support, but unlike a local hobby shop, you can't take your helicopter into them. Like, you can only explain so much over the phone and over an email. Where at a local hobby shop, customers can bring in their, even if it's a 700 or a 450, they can bring in their helicopter, and we can take a look at it. We can basically fly it for them, go over it. They might have something wrong that they might not even know is wrong, that they can't explain over the phone, that sort of stuff. So it's nice when they support the local hobby shop. They can come back to the shop, and we can take care of them. And the service with a local hobby shop, I think, is definitely going to be more caring and more direct. Where with Heli Direct, if they lose a customer, I mean, obviously they're going to try and have the best customer service as possible. But if they lose a customer or two at Heli Direct, Heli Direct isn't really going to care. I mean, they have hundreds of thousands of other customers, where at a local hobby shop, they might only have, 30 or 40 helicopter guys. If they lose 3 or 4 of their helicopter guys, that's a decent amount of customer and, money basically going out the door. So I think it's definitely good I tend to support a local hobby shop more over, the online businesses and all that stuff, like Heli Direct. So.
And then your disclaimer would be is you also work there part-time, so you like the hobby shop.
Yes, also, but not even that. Even if I didn't work at a hobby shop, it's also the fact that, if I was a newer person into it and I had a problem with my 450, I could take it into someone like you or me and have them figure it out.
Right. Unfortunately, I mean, we're lucky in the shop that we work at. We are a small mom-and-pop shop, Iron Horse Hobby House in Reading. But some of the chain stores, there's my shameless plug. Some of the other hobby shops and stuff, if they don't have guys that are into it, I mean, it is kind of rough. That's why a lot of guys say when they go in for heli stuff, if you don't know anything about this stuff, it's kind of complicated.
Right.
And it's difficult. You can't just make it up and kind of wing it.
Right.
So if you live near a shop that has heli guys, that's great. If not, I understand where the frustration can come, from the heli guys themselves.
Yeah, take advantage of guys at your local hobby shop. If they do helicopters and they know what they're talking about and they're willing to help you, take advantage of that. That's one thing I can definitely say to all my subscribers. I know a lot of people will PM me through YouTube to me to help them, and I can only do so much, within a 365 character text back. Definitely a hobby shop, they're take advantage of the guys who know what they're talking about at your local hobby shop.
Absolutely.
Because 99% of the time, you're not going to bother the guys. Like I said, most of the guys are willing to help you, and they're willing to help you for a while. It's not just a once-and-done thing. So don't be afraid to take advantage of that. That's definitely one thing I can recommend to my subscribers, is just take advantage of that at your local hobby shop. You're lucky if you have someone who's into the helis and is good with the helis and knows what they're talking about. Definitely a good plus there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys on that. And unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword. We actually have a local hobby shop here. The owner is actually a pretty good friend of mine. It's Farsi. There's a shameless plug. But he unfortunately, he is a racer. He's an RC car racer and he sells blade helicopters, and he flies with me every once in a while. But his main interest is the RC car, and as a matter of fact, he'll call me with helicopter questions, and sometimes I don't even know. I'm still a newbie at this. I don't know everything or too much about helicopters, but he is willing to help you out, and I do buy stuff from him whenever I need any blade products. I go straight to Tony. But then also you have the franchise local hobby shops that, to be honest with you, I think they're giving these local mom and pop shops a bad name. There's a shop here called, and I hate to say their name, but it's Hobbyworks. I don't know if you guys have a Hobbyworks or a Hobbytown USA in Pennsylvania, but those are the franchised local hobby shops. And
Yeah.
when I started out, I used to go to Hobbyworks and Hobbytown, and the guys in there, they were friendly enough, and they would talk to me about helicopters. And as a newbie, I was like, wow, they know what they're talking about. But now that I know how to build a helicopter, and now that I'm into it, I look back and I go, wow, they really steered me wrong. They were trying to sell me a product, because a lot of the products that I purchased from them, I look at them like, why would you sell this to somebody? And it's like, and I'm not going to say the parts or the names of the brands, but you guys know what I'm talking. There are parts and brands out there and chargers that you really shouldn't be buying. I mean, because you're eventually going to need something stronger, and they just steered you the wrong way. And a lot of times they'll tell you they know what they're talking about, and they really don't. And as a newbie, you believe them.
And that's why I would agree. I would definitely agree with you on that, and that's where I said it can be rough. I see it from our end. And you're right. Those shops do give us. It makes it harder for us if we know what's going on, because the stereotypes out there of, oh, it's just a hobby shop. That's a guy behind the counter. He doesn't really care or know what's going on. And I know in our case, we're into it. We love what we do, and it really, it makes it a little bit better. But yeah, we have a couple other local shops that we hear all the complaints and gripes, and
that's actually pretty.
And
we're
lucky enough as a small shop that we get not only blade, but we can get the T-Rex stuff. We can get Gowie. Can get the DJI stuff. We just set up. We can get Pulse. We can get a lot of these other companies that we're able to get. I actually was just in contact. We're trying to get things signed up to maybe get Synergy. So we're striving to try to get a true, not only the beginner heli guys, but the hardcore heli guys, and try to make it good for all of them.
Yeah, I think it almost in a way, like the small mom and pop shops care more. They do. Because we don't, where someone like, the big chain stores, if they don't sell a 450 to someone, they don't care. A lot of the guys who work in the big chain stuff, they might not be into it, or they're into it but not that particular item, like, say, helicopters. They're trying to sell you a helicopter, but they're a car guy. And they don't really care if they don't sell you that helicopter. They don't care if you never come back. Where with us, we love helping people. We like what we do. We're into the hobby, and that's what's cool coming in, helping guys. We've already had guys come into the shop. We help out and become great friends with. We've seen them progress. And, it's awesome to see the guys who came in not knowing what they want, wanting, just stepping up from the mall helicopters to now being able to do some 3D. And, it's awesome to see that transformation from, a couple of the guys. And where someone at, like, the chain stores, you don't develop that customer to employee relationship, where at, like, the smaller mom and pop shops like us, we develop a customer to employee relationship where, we know the guys, we're friends with a couple of the guys, and we definitely get to know them better and know what they want, where we don't just try and sell them, what we can make the most money on. So I think that's another reason that small shops are better.
And how many hobby shops out there, if you've got a DX8 or DX9, want to get a nice skin on it, have the access to get a hold of someone to get some cool vinyling done?
Exactly.
There you go. Another shameless plug.
It's not shameless.
We've actually talked about it at our shop, about contacting you, finding out what you can do, and we actually may have you try to do some stuff for us to stock at the store. About maybe having a couple items, more not with the names and stuff on it, obviously, but something very basic and something kind of cool, So I'll get in touch with you later about that. But that was definitely one of the things that we had discussed, about having some stuff again to cater to the guys who want that extra little something done.
Definitely. We can definitely work something out.
Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole reason we had you on this podcast, for the shameless plugs, Team Ninja plugs. That's the whole reason.
Right.
So, there's no shameless plugs for Team Ninja. It's fine.
That's right.
But we're
This
not
is cool.
even a shop or anything. We just want to get the name Team Ninja out because it just sounds so cool to say. Team Ninja, go!
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta get one of our friends. We were sitting here the other night, and we gotta get him to do that video. I'll text it to you then, Joe. It's we could use it as somewhat of a promotion for Team Ninja.
That was funny.
I'll text it to you later then. But it's pretty cool. Maybe we can do some ads or something for Team Ninja. But yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We might even have to we'll get something up online even with that, because that was just kind of funny all the way around.
Yeah.
Everybody get a good kick out of that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. If they know the whole thing behind the Team Ninja, then yeah, they'll definitely.
Maybe some way you can find a way, if you're able to do it, put the quick clip right at the end of this at the end of this podcast. Maybe you can put something on there real quick.
All right, yeah. At the end of this podcast, guys, there will be that quick little clip that's kind of funny. So stay tuned for that.
Hopefully you find it as funny as we did.
Yeah, it's basically. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of quick clips, Aaron, I'm excited about your that thing you're gonna make for my videos, man. That thing that you got with the Aaron Heister coming out, that thing is so cool.
Yeah, me and a friend are gonna do that. That was like a collaborative thing. He did the editing. I kind of helped design the logo and that stuff, but he did all the editing, so that was all him. But we'll definitely do that for you.
I appreciate it. I'll give you some money if you need some money, but I'll pay you for it.
No, don't worry about it. No big deal.
You have like Team Ninja Flash with ninja stars coming at it with some dubstep music. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we need good dubstep music in every intro. It's not a good cool intro without a good dubstep song.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's right.
Sweet.
All right, so
well, Travis, thanks for talking so much. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
let me get Travis. This is to Travis. So I know you got a lot of cool helis already, but if somebody came up to you and said, "Look, we're going to get you a heli right now," what's the one heli that you would want? If someone came up and said you could have any heli you want, what would it be?
The 770 competition Goblin.
So you're still sticking with a Goblin?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Well, you're in luck, Travis, because we're going to ship you out a free Goblin 770 right now. Congratulations.
No. This isn't Oprah.
Yeah. You get a free Goblin, and you get a free Goblin.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a free Goblin. Yeah. Look under your seat. There's a Goblin.
That would be nice, but no.
Yeah, well, let me check. No, nothing on my seat.
Yeah.
Idea for a video, like we can take all of our Goblin or 500 helicopters, every single one, and we can fly all those and just make a whole bunch of videos and combine it and make it into one whole video, and it will just be a video of every one of our 500s, like a line or T-Rex.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Or we can do it a really fun way and just do a 4-way flight. Why not make it more interesting?
That would.
That'd be cool. Even if we just do inverted hovering or just something simple, that'd be fun.
Tail end hovering for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might just do with that many helis. I'll just stick with a hover, maybe inverted. That's about it.
They're only 500s though. I mean,
only 500s.
But you know what we do at the field is we always do these multiple BL flies, and there's like what was it in the summer? This past summer we had like 12 BLs up in the air, and I think that was the most fun. And we were all trying to avoid each other. As a matter of fact, we were trying to hit each other, and we couldn't hit each other.
Like a bunch of mosquitoes up in the air.
It was so much fun, and we had like the club president was there, and kids, older people. We all had our BLs, and we were just like, just having a good old time, and that's what it's all about.
I remember
that's cool.
As long as we're having fun, that's all.
Yeah, definitely. I remember the Virginia Fun Fly. It was a lot of fun. I was flying my 130X, and what did you have, Travis? Was it the stock MCPX, or was that the MCPX BL? We were
It was the MC.
that was because I remember at night it got really dark, and it got so dark that I had to take my 130X canopy off so I could see the blue light. And me and Travis were just beating the crap out of our helicopters, flying low, flying close to each other, just doing like stupid stuff. That was a lot of fun.
That was, I mean, that was fun to watch. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That was really cool.
Yeah, well,
And then that was nice of you to take him in like that, Aaron. And that's why we kind of gravitated towards you guys because, it was just really cool of you to do stuff like that with him.
I love flying with him. I mean, it was awesome. That was a lot of fun.
For
Absolutely.
you to take time out to fly with newbies, that was really special. We were like you didn't know us from scratch, and you just kind of took them under your wing, and I like that. That was cool.
And taught him all the bad stuff.
Hey.
Yeah.
All the bad stuff, like flying inverted and catching your heli from the skids. That was great.
Well, hey,
way to go,
if
Aaron.
you do
Good
it properly,
influence.
it looks really cool. And Travis ended up doing it, and it looked good. I mean, it looked really good. So,
Yeah.
give you props for that.
I mean, I'm glad I haven't met you guys because, like, when we were talking, you guys taught us a lot of stuff about all the helicopters that we had and what we should do to keep them together.
Yeah,
That's cool. Thanks.
Yeah, we just have fun doing,
Appreciate
just
that.
So, but yeah.
Well, looking forward to getting together again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For getting some flying in. Hopefully by then I'll have all the bugs worked out of the boblin.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out. I'm actually trying to sketch. And there you go, Joe. You can food for thought. Where I have on the pictures where you saw where I had the boblin sticker on there. I got to come up with something cooler than just a white decal. I can't figure out what I want to do, but I got to come up with something that's just going to scream badass on the side, but say boblin on the side. So
What are we talking about?
For my goblin.
You mean on the side of your goblin?
Yeah, if you saw the pictures like where Aaron in his one video he comes up close and where it just says boblin in white. So I want to take that boblin off, but about that size. I want to do something that's just cool as all get out, on the side there. Nothing like screaming, but I want to do boblin in a different font and a different vinyl, and it's something different. I just don't know exactly how I want to do it, but I'm still trying to figure out something. My problem is I don't have very good artistic skills, so I'm trying to come up with something.
Are you trying to cover up what it already says on there, or?
No, I mean that's just vinyl. I can just take that off.
Oh, okay.
The vinyl, and then if you look on the side, like where you put your name stickers, where I put it, where it says boblin on the side, and I'm just going to do something there and take it off, and I want to do something else. But something that pops out a little more because it's white on that yellow, so it doesn't like stick out as much as I want it to.
I'll have to look at it's on the video, or
Yeah,
what?
if you,
Aaron, it's in the Goblin 500 overview.
I'll text you a picture of it. I'll just do that.
You have it in front of you now?
What's that?
You have it in front of you now?
Unfortunately not. I have it at the shop, trying to show it off
Wait,
right now.
I'll text Joe the pictures I have of it. Don't worry about it. I have pictures.
You have it on your phone now? Text it to me now. I'd like to see it now.
Okay, all right. Oh, actually, I'll text it to you once we're done with the podcast then. But yeah, so if you guys are interested in checking out any of Joe's work, you can definitely go down and link in the description. I'll have the link to his YouTube channel and the link to his Heli Freak profile page. Send him a PM on Heli Freak and contact him, get work done. Go to his YouTube channel, check out a couple of his other designs of his installments on the radio, and all that other cool stuff. Some pretty sweet flights. And yeah, anything else you want to say, Joe or Travis?
No, I mean, I appreciate you guys having us on the podcast. This was really fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully next time Travis doesn't talk as much. I kind of took over the show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Picture sent, by the way, Joe.
One subject. What's that? Oh, you did? Okay.
I said picture sent. I just sent it.
Okay. One thing we did not talk about, and it's pretty big news, is Bert Kimmerer dropped V-Bar.
Yeah, we did talk about it. Oh, yeah, there you go.
We didn't. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. This is just dragging on. We'll keep this going longer. That's fine.
Perfectly fine. Yeah, I saw the basically the article on Facebook. Basically, it was worded nicely and very professional, but you could tell the tone of the article. There was a little bit of tension between him and Mikado. And basically what me and my dad were talking about, we're not sure if this is what's it, but this is a fact what happened. Readyheli ordered in a bunch of goblins, Readyheli ordered in a bunch of SAB
Yeah.
Readyheli is
Allegedly, this is what we're told.
Readyheli is run by a lot of the head guys at Team Mikado. So basically, they ordered.
Well, not necessarily. No. Now, from what I understand, it was they ordered Readyheli when they closed. Some of the guys that were running Readyheli then opened the Mikado USA thing.
Oh. Okay.
So they're saying the Readyheli guys, I guess they ordered in all these goblins and then shut the doors and then didn't pay the bills to SAB
Okay.
for all the goblins that they ordered. So now all of a sudden, some of these guys that were involved with Readyheli now helped open the Mikado USA. They went live there.
Okay. All right.
So maybe there's some bad blood there.
Okay.
That maybe Mikado, SAB's blaming Mikado, because of
They didn't get
not
the
getting
payment. Yeah.
That's kind of how I understand it. Whether or not that's true, it's all allegedly. So don't anybody come back and fire back at me for if I said anything wrong. Just going by the information, but unfortunately,
I don't even.
it's kind of whispered down the alley.
I don't think Bert stopped flying V-Bar because of performance, because since day one he's been flying V-Bar. Even though he helped design the MSH Brain and Icon, he's been flying V-Bar. But the reason I say this is because it's not because of performance, is because in the article it said he's looking for another company that he could proudly represent. He didn't mention anything about performance or anything. He just said about being able to proudly represent that company. And I think because he flies for SAB and that stuff went down, he just wasn't proud and didn't have that pride in Mikado or the V-Bar anymore. So I don't think it's anything towards the flybarless system. It's just towards the company. That's just my take on it.
I would agree with that.
No, I can tell you, we have a V-Bar up to 700 and an Icon on everything else. And to be honest with you, the V-Bar is a nice receiver, receiver, but the Icon is right up there with it. I think. I mean, I really don't feel a difference. And as a matter of fact, one of the guys that I fly with, he's a V-Bar rep, and he's flown my 500, and he's like, wow, he's impressed with the Icon. He's like, it's nothing like the Beast. It's nothing, it feels nice. I mean, he even said it's pretty close to V-Bar standards, and that's pretty cool to hear.
That's really good for me to hear, since I just put an Icon on my Goblin.
Oh, I'd love that. We got Icons on all our helicopters now. Unfortunately, I was having a lot of issues with the Beast X, and it is a good receiver, but I feel more comfortable with the Icon.
Yeah.
And I'm a little torn to announce this, but as much as I back 3GX, I love it on my 300X. I love the 3GX on my 450, my T-Rex 450 Pro DFC. On my T-Rex 600, I'll be swapping the Icon. So, yeah, that's a proud moment.
In case anybody picked up on what he said, he does have a 3GX on a Blade 300X.
Yes.
We did as an experiment, and I got to say, the thing flies really freaking good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
very cool.
Quite a good helicopter. Good flybarless system. The only reason I'm swapping out on my 600 is, it flies great in my 450. I wouldn't want to upgrade to anything else in the 450 or my 300. The main reason for my 600, it was through a crash, and it wasn't my fault. Actually, my tail basically blew apart. And I think something in the flybarless system might have gotten set out of whack, might have gotten tweaked. Because ever since then I have this pretty annoying tail wag, and it's not a tail gain issue. It's not a mechanical issue. We're 99% sure it's not a mechanical issue. We've looked over everything, replaced everything, and at this point the only thing we can even look at this point is the 3GX, and the Icon I was looking at anyway because I know it's a nice flybarless system, so I'll just be going to that. So I'm pretty excited for that.
You'll be happy with that. We love our Icons here, and with good reason. It's a good reason.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard good things about I've heard great things about the Icon, even though it's a newer system. But I've heard wonderful things about the MSH Brain, and the Brain is the Icon basically. Excuse my cat. He always finds his way. He always makes his way in one of my videos. I don't know why. Excuse me.
So, does anyone want to take a venture, a guess here? What you think Bert might be flying for then?
I'm going to assume Icon.
Yeah,
That's
I say Icon.
MS8,
that's my guess too.
or I'm gonna think out the box now. He just came out with the full-size BK servos. Maybe he's got a BK receiver.
That's what
With
I said. He might be doing a BK flybarless system. That is exactly what I said. I'd be willing to bet he's doing that.
I'm going to stick with Icon. I think that's what he's going to go with.
It's going to be a rebranded Icon MSH brain. Instead of the packaging, it's going to have BK brain or BK Icon on it or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if they do that. I mean, they already rebranded the brain into the Icon. Why not rebrand the Icon into a BK system? Because then people would be like, oh, BK servos match up with a BK flybarrel system. That's perfect. Why not get the combo? So
Exactly.
And there's a good thing right there. They could do a flybarrel system and servo combo or something like that. So I think Joe hit the nail on the head. I think that's gonna. I think
it's going to be Icon to rep that company to go with the actual Icon itself is my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any other flybar for him to go to. I mean, it only makes sense since he helped design it.
Yeah.
Going
Going
off topic, I have a question for Aaron. When you're watching your dad fly, does he ever do anything that makes you nervous?
Good question. We never actually got on this. Yeah.
That is a good question.
So this is the sun discussion of.
Okay, so thank you for watching the podcast. Here we have to go now.
This is a sun discussion of what makes us nervous. Yeah, actually, that was an awesome question, Travis. Nothing really makes me nervous with my dad unless he is probably the only thing is when he stops talking, because that's the worst. Because me and my dad, when we fly a lot, we talk to each other a lot. Like I screw around when I fly. I act stupid. Like I'll do the pinion voice or something like that. And my dad occasionally, he does it a lot. And when my dad just gets quiet and stops talking, at that point I'm like, he's obviously nervous or he's concentrating too hard or something. At that point I'm like, what's gonna happen? But I know my dad's got full control of the helicopter, so I'm not really worried. Unless you try and spool it up and idle up while the blades are still spinning on the ground.
Once, thank you. I learned that lesson.
Yeah, wreck a helicopter. Okay, anyway.
Anyway.
Travis.
Thanks for sharing on that one.
Travis, what makes you nervous with your dad?
He'll be doing his orientation, and then out of nowhere he'll just try to do some smack, and it'll just be random, and it scared me because it would come close to me, and then he would just turn it away, and then he would just start doing his orientation like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, even the most experienced pilots, when a helicopter is coming at you and you don't know if the pilot's in control or not, I understand that's a scary situation. So I can agree with that. So even
nice.
I don't fly near you.
Way to scare your kid, Joe. Now we're finding out the true.
I'm at least 2 feet away from him.
And that's with the 700.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
That is funny.
I mean, even if you're high up in the air, you still scare me because I'm afraid you're gonna end up messing up somehow.
As long as he's far enough out that when the helicopter comes down, shrapnel won't hit you or the helicopter won't hit you, it's perfectly fine. Because then at that point, you can just watch the crash and, see how cool it ends up turning out.
But the thing is, what am I going to fly after it's gone?
See, that's what he's worried about.
Well, that's why...
He doesn't like to fly the 700.
That's why you have the 700. That's your 700. And then, your dad will get a 700 or a 770. And then if you crash your 700, Travis, you don't have to worry about it. Or if your dad crashes his 770, you can be like, oh, well, Dad, you're kind of screwed. I have my own helicopter. You're done.
Nice.
No, I mean, if my dad crashes, yeah, I'll let him fly my stuff.
Bob, are you still...
What's that?
Bob, are you still flying your 350 QX?
Yeah, I haven't flown it for a while, though. I just, with weather and time and everything, I'm still trying to figure out that whole GPS thing that's going on. It flies awesome.
Say hi, guys.
When I don't have a GoPro on it.
He's climbing over my desk.
when I don't have the GoPro on it, the thing flies awesome. When I put the GoPro on, I have GPS issues. So as long as I just don't use GPS with the GoPro, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, I love the thing.
Did you get my text? Because I fly with the GoPro. I fly the heck out of this 350QX. I put snail tape all in the inside of my 350QX, and that helped with the RF interference.
Okay.
I could run a GPS, and I could bring it back home, and with the GoPro on. Even with the GoPro Wi-Fi, I have full control of GPS.
I'll get with you on that. I don't know what that is.
Snail tape is just copper tape. If you can find copper tape, wrap it up all on the inside of your You got to take the shell out.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. I've got a video of it on my YouTube channel. Aaron will have to show it to you or pull it up on my YouTube channel. It's called RF shielding.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out.
I tell you, it's night and day. I was having GPS issues where it wasn't coming home, or it was just doing some crazy stuff on GPS with the GoPro on. And I wrapped it all up with RF shielding, and it solved the issues.
Yeah, mine won't even lock into a GPS when the GoPro's turned on.
Same here. That green light would just keep blinking and blinking.
Yeah.
Now with that RF shield, I even put RF shielding on my GoPro housing. I don't know how you put I don't use that little contraption that Blade sends with you.
No, I use the GoPro mount.
Case, and I tell you, we're gonna do some really cool videos this year with this GoPro and the Goblins. A funny story is that this is actually my second 350QX. We fly at a field that the Air Force actually owns. The field that we fly at, if you go about maybe a half a mile to a mile, there are antennas that the Air Force uses for radio signals. Well, you're not supposed to fly in that area or you'll lose signal. I mean, they don't tell us you can't fly there, but if you do, you're going to lose signal. So a friend of mine had my 350QX, took it out there, and he said, I can't even see it. And I said, well, I can't see it either. Just hit the home button. He hit the home button. The 350 just went straight down, and we were like trying to look for it and totally lost it. So we spent 2 hours looking for this thing, couldn't find it. But we did find another friend's 350QX who had lost it at the same spot.
Wow.
So I'm walking back to the field with somebody else's 350QX, and I call him, and I'm like, hey, George, I got a surprise for you. And he's like, what? And I texted him the picture, and he was so ecstatic because he got his 350QX. He had lost it like maybe 3 or 4 hours prior to us losing ours.
Wow.
We found his, but never found mine. And, the guy that was flying mine is a really good friend of mine. And I told him, I said, you know what? I'm the one that told you to fly this thing. Don't worry about it. It happens. It was just like, if I let you fly my helicopter and you crash it, that's on me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to expect any money out of you or whatever. And I told him, I said, that could have easily happened to me also. I could have flown it there and lost signal and blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe a week or two later, he rings the doorbell and has this brand new 350QX for me.
Wow.
And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. So that's my 350QX story. On my thread, I don't know if you've seen my thread on the manufacturing part of the forum where it's got pictures of all my examples.
Mm-hmm.
The 350 there is the one that got lost. It has the
cool wrap and
Goblin
stuff
dragon scheme.
Wow, that stinks.
Lights. I had all. It does, but again, it's one of those things. You let somebody fly your stuff.
Stuff happens.
It's on you.
Yeah, stuff happens. Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, if he came up to me and was like, "Let me fly," and did it, then I'd expect something.
Yeah.
That brings up
That's a good guy.
That brings up another good topic actually. Is that's a very well talked about subject. Is if someone, if you crash someone's helicopter, what do? Like, what is the proper etiquette? And there's so many different, scenarios. Is if they ask to fly it, or if you offer them, or if they're flying stupid, or if your helicopter blows apart. I mean, there's so many different scenarios. But I think just a general take on it is, if I give you my helicopter and I say, here, you fly this, and you take it up and you crash it because you lost orientation or something, that's perfectly fine. But, if you come up to me saying, hey, can I fly it? Can I fly it? I'll let you fly it. But if you're intentionally getting low, you're down trying to cut grass, you're trying to do 4-point rolls with the blades, cutting grass, and you crash it, you were asking for trouble. I mean, at that point, I'd be like, all right, something would be nice. But if I hand you my 500 and say go at it, go low, just have at it, I mean, if you crash it, you have to expect that. And
Yeah, and that's you're right. That's proper etiquette right there. If I say, hey, Aaron, take this out, man. Just do some smack, do whatever, do whatever you buy it like you stole it.
yeah,
If that's the case, then I wouldn't expect anything from you. But if you came up to me and said, "Hey, Joe, let me fly," and I said, "Sure, go ahead, fly it," and you started doing that, I still wouldn't expect anything from you because I let you fly my helicopter. If I did expect something from somebody to pay for my helicopter, I never would have let them fly. It's
yeah.
like,
I mean, but if they're down,
put yourself.
if they're down on the ground intentionally, like trying to fly low, and they ask to fly it, then I mean, I still wouldn't get mad. I would just be like, that. Yeah, I'd think twice about letting that person fly my helicopter again.
Right.
Um,
Or I would even say, yeah, that's kind of low. Let's bring it back up. And if he just starts laughing and keeps going low, then that's a different story. That's like, all right, dude, you
at that point, if they're being low, if they're low, and I tell them, hey, bring it up, and they're still staying low, I'd be like, all right, give me my helicopter back. I'd ask
at that
them to
point,
back it. Yeah.
At that point, I'd take the helicopter back, and when they're done, they get a size 14 up the rear end.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I've already offered for one person to fly my 450, or actually one person asked to fly my 450, and almost crashed it. It was a 450. It wouldn't have been a huge deal, and then they kind of tried to brush it off as, oh, I tried to do that, and it was, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about now, yeah.
Very obviously a screw up and a loss of orientation, but then they tried to brush it off as, no, I meant to do that. That was all, and that, it didn't irritate me, but I was just like, maybe don't do that next time if I hand you my radio.
Right.
Um,
I just have a certain rule where I really don't let anybody fly my stuff unless I know. Put it this way: if you're a good friend of mine and I know you can fly, have at it. And if something happens, that's on me. I'm not going to expect anything from a good friend that I know can fly, even if they were doing smack. But if we weren't good friends, I didn't really know you too well, and you start doing that stuff with the helicopter. First of all, you wouldn't be flying my helicopter if I didn't know you too well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So typically, the only people that have really flown my helicopters are those SAB guys that are sponsored by SAB, and I know that I know that the kind of people they are, if they were to break it, I know they would pay me back, but I wouldn't expect it. You know what I mean? It's one of those. It's like a gray line where, you really shouldn't expect it because you know they can fly and things happen. You know.
Exactly.
But first of all, I try not to let too many people fly my stuff unless if you're a really good friend, then yeah. Like the guy that lost my 350, he's a really good friend. I trusted him to fly that, and when he lost it, I was a little sad that I lost. I no longer had a 350QX, but by the same token, I felt bad for my friend because I felt bad that I knew how he was feeling. I knew that. I knew
bad about it.
Yeah, and he was really upset, and I kept telling him, Brian, don't worry about it, man. It happens. It's part of the hobby. You could have crashed it just as well as lost it. I would have ended up spending the same amount of money whether you lost it or crashed.
Yeah, that was a good thing he did though to replace it.
Oh yeah, definitely, that was awesome.
And I didn't expect it because I said, don't replace it. I don't want you to replace it. As a matter of fact, I told him what I wanted him to do is buy his son like a BL or to get his son involved into it, and he did that too, and he was kind enough to buy me the other one. It was really cool.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
And something that I was thinking about that I had on my mind is I have a problem with if I know somebody but they're not good friends with me or I know them well enough and they just like maybe pick up one of my helicopters just to look at it. I sort of have a problem with that, but I don't mind it as much. But I've seen it sometimes people have dropped it behind my back and I could see them in the corner of my eye, but they would pretend like they never did anything. And that's what really bothers me. I don't really like it when people that I barely know just sort of, messes with my stuff that like is really expensive, and if they break that, then they're gonna have to pay for it, and I'm kind of gonna be upset.
Yeah, no, I
'Cause,
know what you mean. Yeah.
If people you don't know are messing with your stuff, that's when you just need to show them the back
Well, if someone comes up to me like at Urcha,
kidding, by the way.
At Urcha, when everyone walks around, they'll look at stuff, they'll ask people to see stuff. And if someone came up to me and said, "Hey, you mind if I see your 600?" I'd say, "Yeah," I'd pull canopy off, whatever. But I'd stand there with them. I wouldn't want to walk away, or I wouldn't want to even just look away. But yeah, I totally agree, Chaps. If someone dropped my helicopter, I'd be very irritated. That wouldn't be something. If someone's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," I wouldn't be like, "Oh, it's okay." That's not something that happens daily. I'd probably get a little mad.
Right.
I don't know. I can't answer that right. Like, I can't say what I'd tell them because it's never happened to me. But if it happens, I would just kind of judge it. So.
And it would suck if they didn't ask, and you hadn't flown it yet, and then it just breaks. If they dropped it, they really wouldn't have anything to fly for the whole day that you were going to be there. That would suck.
Yeah, I'd be really irritated if they didn't ask me at all. If someone just comes up and starts grabbing my stuff, I'll walk over and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Start making conversation. But I just find it weird if I wouldn't go up to someone I don't know at all, I've never talked to, and just pick up their 700. I would never do that. You walk over like, "Hey, nice helicopter," ask a little bit about it, then, "Hey, mind if I mess with it? Mind if I see it?" You don't just walk over to it and, "Oh yeah, hey, nice helicopter. I see you got BK servos." You just don't do that. That's just not proper. I don't know.
Plus, you don't even know where their hands have been.
well, yeah.
And on that note,
that too. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is really funny.
That was great.
But yeah, I guess on that note, I guess we're gonna wrap up the podcast here. If you guys want to check out any of Joe's work, once again, all the links to his Heli Freak profile, his YouTube channel will be in the description. Also, along with my dad's YouTube channel, check out his channel as well. Go PM Joe, have him do some vinyl stuff. Absolutely awesome. Also, the link to the video I did on his vinyl for me, I will have that link in the description as well. Some really awesome stuff. Joe and Travis, really awesome guys, and thanks for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, anytime. All right.
Oh, and go Hawks.
Wow. So
nice.
All right. Well, thanks guys for being on. Thanks Dad for being on. And yeah, I guess we'll see you in the next video.
Oh, definitely. We'll keep in touch. And I'll get that bobbling thing straightened out for you. That looked pretty plain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'll spice it up for you.
Sweet.
All right, guys.
Nice.
If you enjoyed this podcast, give this video a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next video.
Go Team Ninja.
That's right. Go Team Ninja.